Hello, I am excited to talk to you. My face is peeling a little bit because I had a chemical peel earlier this week. What I want to talk about today, two things. The first is what you're looking for isn't in a location, and I've learned that, and I have merit in this because I've lived in numerous different places. And the second thing I want to talk about is some struggles I've had with my exercise and weight specifically. So let's start with the first one. First of all, I've lived in numerous different places. I've lived in New Mexico, I've lived in Michigan, the Pacific Northwest. I've visited Japan, but I've never visited another continent besides Asia and North America. I will. And I have a pattern of burning bridges in a location or a place. Noticing all the things I don't like about a certain place and running away to escape to a different place. And in the running away, I realize I run into all the same characters being played by different people. Meaning, if I deal with a negative type of person, I will still find that same person, not the same person, but someone similar in a different location, because it has to do with my energy and the things I attract into my life. And it doesn't matter where I go, I'll always find those things. And likewise, I've lived in so many fucking places, and really, they all feel like the same. They all feel like the same place. People are not different. People are similar. They are so similar. They're more similar than they are unalike. People are more alike than they are unalike. Everywhere I've lived, grocery stores, there's people that work at the grocery stores. There's gas stations, and of course this is North America, but I mean, even in Japan, there's cultural differences, of course, but at their core, I think humans are very similar. They all need to eat. They all have laundry to do. They all like sports. They all like to go out and go to the bar. They all need a place to live. They all have the same needs. Fundamental needs. And so what that means is the real fucking change that you want in your life is never going to happen by moving to a new place. It's actually going to happen right where you are. Maybe you don't need to go travel around the world and move to a new country, move to a new city. Maybe you do. Maybe you do need to move to a new city to figure out the same thing that I figured out, having lived in numerous different cities in my life, which is that no place is going to bring you what you want. You're going to get what you want by finding it and changing within. And you can find it right here, where you are, in some podunk little town with nothing fucking going on, okay? I could have done that too, in the podunk town I lived in. I could have done it in Missoula, Montana, which is not a podunk little town, but it's smaller. I could have done it in a big city. And now I'm in a bigger city, and I finally realized this, that I don't have to go anywhere to find what I'm looking for. I can find it right here. And when I build build it for myself. I can take it with me wherever I go. And it changes the reason why I'm moving. I'm not moving to run away. I'm moving to take my life to a new place, physically. And I don't prefer to live in the desert, but I'm stuck in the desert right now because it takes money to move and I don't have money. Things are changing, but it won't change overnight. That being said, my house looks fucking incredible. I kind of want to take you on a little tour, but I might do that on TikTok Live. I'll show you a little bit. Why not? But let's talk a little bit about my body. So, I was at the gym, and I weigh myself because I studied exercise, and yes, it can be a toxic habit for people with disordered eating, but I've had a dietitian. I've worked through an eating disorder. I don't get wrapped up in my weight, but it's nice to notice a pattern. And I have really struggled to gain weight for several fucking years, like numerous years. And people will joke, of course, and say, oh, you can take my weight, whatever. It's not the point. I think anyone who struggled with changing their body understands what I'm talking about, whether you're trying to lose weight or gain weight. It can be like years before you actually see change that you desire. And I've seen a lot of change. Like, don't get me wrong, my body looks so fucking different from how it looked 5 years ago. It's a lot more muscular. It's not just skinny twink. But I weigh the same weight. I'm barely a little bit, maybe 5 pounds more in 5 fucking years. And I've been trying, grinding, drilling. And it's hard to figure this out. I literally studied this. And I think it just comes down to the food that I'm eating. I have a tendency to skip meals. And I don't do it consciously, but that was what my eating disorder was about. And working with a professional, I realized there's not some hidden mystery that I'm not seeing. It's simple. I need to eat more. I need to put consistency into my diet and make sure I'm eating enough. And I haven't been doing that. And last week I went to the gym a few times, and my body took a long time before it wasn't sore because I wasn't eating enough. And so, also when I was a little kid, I was neglected physically. Which means you were starved. A lot of people are not neglected as a intentionally abusive thing. They are neglected because they have a single parent, or they maybe have two very busy parents, or their parents cannot meet their physical needs like water, food, etc. Maybe even emotional needs, like taking care of the emotional needs of their children, because they're busy and wrapped up in their own crap. And we can forgive them for that. And we also must be fucking honest and say that at the end of the day, physically neglecting, emotionally neglecting children leaves a lifelong impact on how they perceive themselves, how they show up in the world, versus caring for children the way they need to be cared for, which is something I'm very good at doing. and why I wouldn't have children until I'm in a place where I could fully give myself to them to make sure I meet their needs as their provider. I think another problem in America in particular, talking about the concept of neglect, is men aren't fucking providers in this country. They're weak pussy bitch boys who don't do the work, who don't want to work, who don't want to have a job or multiple jobs to provide for their wives and their families. They want to sit back and drink beer and play pool and pretend to be like a teenage boy and play video games. Don't get me wrong, I love video games, but I don't have a family to provide for. I don't have a girlfriend, I don't have a wife. If I did, my God, what an awful thing to think about. But if I did, I understand that as the fucking man, I need to take care of the finances and provide for my fucking girl. It's really not complicated. It's not fucking hard. I have to show up, go to work, get a job, do it. And that allows the women to be in their feminine energy. Now, if we're gonna, because I am queer, I'm a gay man. So if we're going to talk about gender roles like this, you also have to understand I'm making broad claims about straight people. There are straight people who, the man may prefer to be feminine and the woman may prefer to be masculine. So he may prefer to stay at home and be a stay-at-home dad and be a little beta bitch boy. And that's okay. And she prefers to be the dommy mommy with the corporate job making a lot of money. Just know that when she goes to, if she wants to have a baby, that's not something, you are forced into your feminine energy when you are pregnant as a woman. Because you cannot just do. You have to just be and receive and let people help you. I don't think pregnant women should be fucking working 9 months. That's disgusting. That's stupid. If a woman is pregnant, she should not be required to work. And she should have like a man or a fucking husband paying for the shit, not laying around. And then she should not have to work for a while after giving birth. But coming back to gender, because it becomes interesting when we talk about trans people and gender. I think at its core, feminine people and masculine people work really well in a relationship. And if a person is masculine, but they're not behaving that way, it pisses me off. And that's what America is full of. Weak bitch boy men who don't do the work, who don't provide, who don't have a job, who don't pay for dinner. It pisses me off. And the women are like okay with garbage standards and garbage men who don't do anything, and they're not even like expecting anything, and they're okay doing it all themselves, except they're bitter and resentful and upset. Let's talk about what I wanted to talk about, which is trans people and queer people. You get to decide, gender-wise, who you are as a person. I identify as a feminine person. So in this dynamic, I want to be the one who's the bitch boy at home, okay? I want to be the feminine boy who just is relaxing and gets to enjoy life and isn't providing, and paying all the bills and paying for dinner and opening the doors and being chivalrous and doing all the work. I want to be the one who is lounging like the trophy husband and like enjoying things and being beautiful and having high standards, and people are elevated just in my presence. Okay? And I don't bring anything to the table because I'm feminine. I bring my presence to the table, and you are blessed because of it. Okay? So you could say I'm non-binary, like I'm outside of this gendered role, because I'm a man, I'm a male, and yet I prefer to exist in dating and in my life in a feminine way. So I break the mold there. Now, gay men can be masculine too. That's the kind of man I want. And he doesn't have to be tall and macho, but I want him to show up like a fucking man, which means be a provider, do things for me, help me fix shit, do actions to prove your love. Don't just say you love me, prove it. I'm not here for who you are as a person. I'm here for what you're doing for me, because that's what a man is, a person that does things to make his wife's or girlfriend's life easier. A woman or a feminine is somebody who becomes the most beautiful person they can be inside and out, flourishing, cherishing themselves and their body, loving themselves, a joy to be around, just a beautiful person inside and out, and magnetic, and probably there's a whole different array of hobbies you could have, a lot of different interests and things you do and things you probably are interested in and pursue, and those become talents that you have and gifts, and you do a lot of the work to heal your trauma so that you can be a healed person. And being a healed person who has healed from your trauma oftentimes makes you a really wonderful person to be around, who not only has been through some crazy stuff, but has healed from all that crazy stuff. And that helps everyone around you just being near you, especially if they inquire about your story or show interest, or you pull up some of your own experience in places where it's relevant. The value of a feminine is in her presence. Just her existence is what the value is. And a man's value, or masculine's value, is in his actions. And these rules exist because we're not meant to do it all, and they exist on polarities of the spectrum. So you could do it all by yourself. In fact, you have to if you're single. And if you if you don't want to do it all by yourself, then you need somebody who's able to fill the pieces that you don't prefer to do. And that's how you work together. But everything kind of exists in 3D consciousness in polarities. It's like the crash of the wave and the recession of the wave, the day and the night, up and down, right and left, black and white, bright and dark, light and darkness, I guess. Even the color wheel, green and red, are opposites, orange and blue. everything we perceive is, or on and off. Everything we perceive has something and its opposite. And there's no spectrums, there's no wheel, it's all binary. And that doesn't mean that's the absolute. People who are queer are already either existing or thinking about the world in a non-binary way, which is not just one or the other, but thinking it on a spectrum, which is a sign of higher consciousness, because higher consciousness is thinking, four-dimensionally, seeing things in more than just one or the other. Seeing there's a whole array of things in between, and there might even be a wider array that we're not seeing. And things can fall anywhere in that spectrum and still exist and be real. So queer people are like a gateway for humans to enter the higher consciousness of thinking. But when you have trans people can decide, really everyone can decide where they fall in their identity, where they fall as a person, how they identify what they want to be, okay? So you could have someone that's got female parts and she identifies and wants to show up in the world in a masculine way. And that's not wrong or right. It's maybe a part of why she came here to this planet and part of her purpose. And what that would mean is she may want to, and people have different definitions of masculine and feminine, but for me, it stays the same. Masculine is a doer, feminine is a beer, okay? They're being. And, yeah. A masculine woman would be a woman who likes to work a lot, doesn't just want to go around and do creative things and dance and smell flowers. She wants to fucking hustle. That's what she desires. And it may ebb and flow. It's not like you're always one or you're always the other. She may like to be that way in her professional life, and she may like to be more feminine in her romantic life. And that's allowed. You're allowed to be fucking fluid. You don't have to be like one singular fucking thing. And the rules are all made up, so you can make up whatever rules you want. That's why people identify and use all sorts of different pronouns, because there are no rules. Just do whatever the fuck you want. And that really pisses people off who like rules and operate better when there are rules. But there could be a man like me who likes to be feminine, and I don't even want to be masculine. I don't want that at all. I don't like going to work. I don't like doing things. I don't like paying. I don't like working, and hustling. I don't want to do that, ever. I want to lay around and do creative things and smell the flowers and spin. Okay? Because I'm a feminine boy, and that was what I'm meant to be. Never this masculine work and, fixing a car or carpentry. Fuck that. Absolute golfing, disgusting. Football, disgusting. Definitely not. So, basically, that is how it goes. But I have to be masculine because we live in a masculine culture. And so the only way we see value, one of the main ways we see value, is just through masculine energy, which is doing. So unless you're doing something for me, you're not bringing any value. And that's changing. We're seeing the value in people just by who they are. But that's more of a feminine thing. And my beliefs sometimes shift over time, and I try to learn more and understand more and perceive the world differently more. So, 10 years from now, I might change the way I think. Well, one thing I know for sure is that I want to not do this much work. I want to have a good, comfortable, easy, feminine life. And that's what I do. I build for myself. But we went down a very long rabbit hole there. I want to go back to talking about my body, but let's talk a little bit more about the feminine masculine. So, yeah, a lot of straight people operate in the first layer of this, which is like, women and men and gender roles and how men should be and how women should be. And then there's like a little bit of branching into the second layer, which is breaking out of gender roles, and people can be what they want, and everyone's capable of being masculine and feminine. We don't have to abide by these rules. And in layer 2 is where things get tricky, because then you have men who want all the benefits of being a fucking man without any of the fucking work to do the man shit. So they don't want to pay the bill. They want to go 50-50. They want to do all this weak stuff. And that's annoying. I hate that. The benefits to being a feminine: I mean, you get a nice man who pays for everything, or masculine who pays for everything and treats you well. But for the most part, without the man, or not, it doesn't have to be a man, but without the masculine, I'll take a butch lesbian. If she wants to treat me right, I'll take her. Would I? I just might. If she's looking for a little feminine boy, butch woman, she wouldn't be a lesbian if she's attracted to me. She gotta be respectful. They always are. Butch women are really, really cool. Oftentimes I feel like the butch women, especially the butch lesbians, have been outperforming the fucking straight men for decades, if not centuries, in how to behave like a fucking king. These men are getting outdone, outmanned by women. That's pretty sad, huh? It's pretty sad. So, but anyways, there will be a man out there who wants to do things for me. There will be. And he's going to have a job, okay? Have a job, have good character, and spend money on me. That's all you gotta do. What are my other standards? I like hold the door open, stuff like that. Treat me good. Carry my bags. That's what I want. Anyway, let's talk back about my body. And I don't want to offend people, but I like having dialogues too. Trans people. I like being challenged, but there's no one to challenge me in these YouTube videos because I'm just talking to myself. But I do like being challenged because then it changes the way I think and changes my perspective. It allows me to expand how I think. Sometimes I can think on things again. But this is all the things I've discovered. Anyway, my body. So I need to be eating more. Speaking of which, I got a sandwich. I might go on TikTok live and just turn the camera on. Oh my god, I'm fucking excited. That's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. I think the bottom line is there's no mystery thing that I need to do to gain weight. I just need to eat more food. I love going to the gym, But if I'm going to the gym and not eating appropriately, there's no fucking point. That's the biggest lesson I've learned. Like, there's no point to go to the gym if you're just going to not eat the food your body needs to grow. Take it from someone who has literally been doing this for 7 years or so. If you're not eating the right things, you might as well not fucking try. It sucks, but it's true. Eat the food. Build the foundation on your diet. Everything can grow from there. So, anyways, I'll see you next time.